Join me today as we take a look at Marvel Legends Wave 3, X-Men 97 Cable. He first appeared as an adult in Episode 5 of X-Men 97, when he traveled back to the past, or should I say our present, to save the future. Easily the most emotional episode of the first season, at least in my opinion. Man, that episode really hits hard. So many deaths, so many heartbreaks, and for the first time, Madeline finally saw her son again, after sending him to the future.
I'm so sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Madeline need to borrow him for a bit. From the future to the present. Or should I say, from the TV screen to your shelf. Will this cable save the future of Marvel Legends? Let's see just how accurate Mr. Bright Eyes really is compared to the series. I still can't get over how good-looking this figure is. But the real highlight here is the face. The paint is sharp and clean. The details are spot on, with nice sculpting around the cheekbones and even subtle laugh lines. And those brown eyes he got from his father? Nailed perfectly. I guess Madeline and Jean were right.
The day you were born, your mother told me you had my eyes.
They're good eyes.
And now they're yours. I love you, son.
Yeah, those really are good eyes. Oh man, that scene almost got me teary-eyed, not gonna lie. Now, I do wish they had thrown in an angry head sculpt with glowing eyes. That would have been such a cool option. But hey, maybe they're saving it for another version, like the time when they fought Sinister and Bastion. You know how companies love to tease us collectors. His communicator is a nice touch too. The antenna's made of soft plastic, so it won't snap easily. Cable would approve of that future-proofing. As for his outfit, he's rocking the classic look. For those who don't know, X-Men 97 actually pulled his design straight out of his 90s comic costume, but gave it a few tweaks, mostly the colors, to match the animated vibe. Honestly, it feels like a mashup of his different comic looks, and it works. The paint job is really neatly done, with crisp lines and no visible bleeding. All the little details really pop. The collar, the shoulder straps, the belt, the thigh pouches, even the seam lines are all sculpted and painted with care. The straps on the shoulder pads peg right into the chest, and they're separate from the lower straps, which is great. It doesn't really get in the way of articulation. The shoulder pads and collar seem glued in though, in case you're wondering if they're removable. I did spot a tiny QC hiccup, but it's nothing major. What I really dig is the mix of matte and glossy finishes. It gives him more depth and dimension. Overall, he looks fantastic. You can tell instantly who he's supposed to be. He's almost one-to-one with the source material. Still, I wish they'd upgrade the elbow and knee sculpts so they don't look as awkward when bent. That would really level things up. Now onto accessories. By default, you get a fist hand and a relaxed hand. On top of that, they included a pair of trigger hands. They feel durable. The fingers are soft enough to flex, but firm enough to hold his weapons without issue. And speaking of weapons, he comes with two futuristic blasters, one large, one small. I've got to say, I'm really impressed by how accurately they're sculpted. The paint's a slightly glossy gray, and you can see some nice textures on certain areas, like the magazines. Though I do wish they had added some extra paintwork or shading. It would have added more depth and matched the series even better. Right now, they just look a bit flat. Both come with an attachable blast effect, which looks great. It's a translucent yellow that transitions into orange at the tip, giving it that nice gradient energy blast look. You can even pop the bottom piece of the effect off. Too bad it doesn't fit on his eyes. That would have been hilarious, like a DIY glowing eye version. Next up, articulation. He can look down and up, and his head can fully rotate. There's a good amount of tilt from side to side, and he even has some neck articulation. He doesn't have a butterfly joint, though I'm not sure it's really necessary since his large shoulder pads would have hindered it anyway. He can lift his arms up to about 90 degrees, but doing a full 360 isn't easy thanks to those wide shoulder pads. His arms can only move forward this far, and backward movement is pretty limited too. He's got a bicep swivel, pinless double-jointed elbows, and hinged wrists that move up, down, and rotate. For the torso, there's an upper swivel, side-to-side tilt, and a waist swivel. He can crunch forward this far and bend back decently. His legs can kick forward this much, but backward movement's limited by the sculpted butt. There's also a nicely hidden thigh swivel under the pouches, double-jointed pinless knees, and solid ankle articulation. They move up and down with a good ankle rocker. Now let's see how our time-traveling mutant measures up with the rest of the team. Now for size comparisons, here he is with the Mafex X-Men lineup, standing alongside Storm, Cyclops, and Jean. Cable scales nicely here, standing a bit taller just like in the series. His overall look leans more toward the animated side, while the Mafex figures are based on their comic designs. So there's a slight difference in style, but they still look surprisingly good together on display. And next, here he is with some X-Force members, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Psylocke. The amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool does run a bit shorter in scale compared to the rest, but overall, Cable still blends in well enough with both teams. Now that the mission's done, let's talk final thoughts. So, will Cable save the future of Marvel Legends, or do we still need a little time travel fix? Cable might just be the turning point Marvel Legends needed. The sculpt is sharp, the paint is clean, and it's one of the most accurate representations of the character we've ever seen at this scale. If Hasbro keeps this up, Legends could really be on track for a bright future. But here's the thing, sculpt and paint aren't everything. Collectors also want figures that move like the characters we see on screen. Cable is a big step forward, but if articulation doesn't catch up for the rest of the line, it's only half the battle. Cable might be a glimpse of what's possible, but if Hasbro keeps falling back on old parts, that new era collectors are hoping for might stay just out of reach.
Sorry for what?
Mission complete. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next timeline.